now we have Alena Koch. How are you doing today?
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing super good.
That's
I understand
awesome.
you just came off of vacation, right?
I did. I actually was listening to Robert's interview. I'm actually from New York as well, and I just came back from last night, a very long drive, 12 hours. Well, I did it with the dog, so that actually tacked on a few more hours because there's a few more stops with the dog along the way. But.
Yeah, usually that's like in Alaska and Iditarod. Most people use a car in this area of the country.
Yeah, well, I figured, I have a Bichon. He's about 10 pounds. So I figured that was the smartest way. Yeah, no, I took the car. Yeah, I did, but he pees a lot, so I got to stop. Every time I get out, I got to take him. So it just kind of made the trip a little longer.
I understand, and thankfully you got back before the snow hit.
I know. It's crazy here, this weather. It was cold in New York, and here, the highest it got in New York was like mid to low 50s, and I know it was like 70 here when I was gone, and now it's supposed to snow tomorrow. So
Saturday, I was in Myrtle Beach laying by the pool.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, I got lucky planning that weekend. Now, you have a lot of exciting things going on in the here and now. Some people may know you as Naomi from Beat Down Boogie's Modern War Gear Solid series.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that? Because it's got millions of views, so people are bound to know a little bit, but I think you can add to it.
Yeah, actually, the series that we're working on is Mario Warfare, and it's actually a live-action parody of the Super Mario video game universe. And it starts off in the Mushroom Kingdom, and the Mushroom Kingdom's under attack, and my character, Princess Peach, is on the run. And a couple of plumbers, you might know them, Mario and Luigi, they kind of enlist and sign up to fight, and, all sorts of trouble ensues. And the director is G.Moore, and he says it's like a Super Mario Brothers meets Black Hawk Down. So.
Right. And having seen it, it looks incredible. I mean, it just...
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I was showing it off at work yesterday morning, and everybody's like, I'm going home to watch it for lunch.
Cool. We love hearing that stuff. We love seeing when people are pumped up about it. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, I'm in IT, so we're all geeks. So of course, we loved it. And
awesome.
LeBron James even featured it on his website. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was really cool. We've had a couple. We've been featured all over the world actually. But yeah, that was one of the cool ones. It's his website. It's sort of I guess it's kind of like a community. He has all sorts of different news, like politics, music, web videos, and it was featured on there. It wasn't written by him, but it was written by one of his writers, and that was really cool to be featured by an NBA player. So we were psyched about that. And it was also featured on NBC. That was cool, too. That was another one that we were like, oh, my gosh, yay.
With all that momentum you have, what is the status of Mario Warfare?
Well, we have, as you may know, or I hope your viewers know, we have our 2 parts are out already, so part 1 and part 2. And we just finished up our super successful Kickstarter, which actually just ended 6 days ago. And we had so much support. We're just all of us were just talking about how humbled we are by the support and love that we got from the Kickstarter campaign. And with the support that we got from that, we're going to use that to build, work on future episodes. So we're sort of gearing up that pre-production machine right now. And actually our writers met this weekend for, just to go over some pre-production stuff and talk about props and costumes for episode 3. So once the weather gets warmer, we'll start shooting again. So. And
with episode 1 and 2 having over 3 million views, you mentioned how humbling it is to have the Kickstarter success that you have. Do you ever get recognized by fans? How's that going for you?
Actually, it is really cool. We all get recognized quite a bit. For me personally, we do some conventions like Dragon Con in Atlanta, and we'll get recognized there, and that's always really cool. And even locally around here, I'll go to an audition for another project, and people will be like, oh, my gosh, I saw Mario Warfare. And, it's really humbling. We never take it for granted, and it's just a nice feeling to have someone come up to you and want to take their picture with you or just tell you how much they love your work. I appreciate it very much.
That has to be definitely satisfying.
It's
and
cool.
Peach,
It's a cool thing. It's very cool.
And Peach, everybody tried to rescue Peach. I mean, everybody has. What is it like playing a more realistic, dramatic version of Peach?
Well, it's super exciting because I guess, when you think of regular, like Princess Peach, she's always in another castle, ha ha ha, all that stuff. And she's usually kind of like this happy character. And particularly in like episode 1, you see her, with raw emotion and stuff like that. And we kind of took a modern day take on her from like how her hair is kind of, blonde and pink and black, and kind of tried to take her, like modernize her look, modernize her character, give her some real emotion and stuff like that. And yeah, I just love playing. I love playing a character that so many people know, but sort of changing it a little bit so it's not exactly what people expect. That's always good, the element of surprise. Did I answer your question? Was there another? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And what's your method of getting into that moment? Because you are taking her in a different direction. She's not just this kind of obscure object. She's an actual part of the process in warfare.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to like creating an emotion for her, for me as an actress, it kind of depends, I guess, on the emotion. So usually most of the time my approach is like if I try to imagine myself as the character in that situation and how that character would react to that particular situation. But if the scene is particularly dramatic or particularly emotional, like, for example, in episode 1 where the scene between the king and I, and it's this dramatic moment where, I don't know if I'm going to see my father ever again. And
right.
My world is all shattered and stuff. I'll use a trigger from my past to sort of bring me to that point, to help me bring that emotion, and then I'll put myself back into that scene.
And how similar is that to the other roles you've played?
You mean as Peach or just in general, like that method?
Yeah, how do you approach all of your roles? Is that the same kind of thing, or each role kind of demand its own thing?
I do. I usually when I get a script, I'll read through it just straight, like once, and I'll read it usually out loud. The first time I get it, I will just read it through out loud and see how my take is on it, and then I'll keep reading it over and over again, and then I'll start to sort of tweak where I think the character, would react, how, because sometimes when you say one line, obviously it can mean so many different things. I mean, you can say, I'm so excited in a million different ways. You could say, like, I'm so excited, or you could be like, I'm so excited. So I kind of read it through once and just kind of see what my first initial instinct is. But like I guess my method is kind of, I use a lot of my instincts for it, but I'll read it through out loud once, and then I'll go through it several times, and I'll start tweaking it. But I do, as an actress, draw a lot on my personal experience, because that's really what your personal experience is like your toolkit as an actress. You can draw from it, but you have to be careful to make sure that you bring yourself back to that moment of that character, because it's not you, it is that character. So, yeah, I definitely approach scenes the same way. So with Mario Warfare, as Princess Peach, or any scene, I'll approach it. We all have our tools of how we go through stuff, but that's kind of how I go through it.
And do you ever find yourself stuck in that role? Is it hard to shake?
No, I try to do. I've been blessed that I've been able to do a lot of different roles. I guess I've done horror, I've done comedy, I've done, some kind of serious stuff, some action stuff. I don't feel like yet, anyway, that I have like one role where I feel sort of stuck, or where people just see. Now that Princess Peach is, the series is very popular, people see me as her, but it's still so new. I don't feel like there's any one role that people are just like, they just see me as that and nothing else. I'm
curious about what's next for Princess Peach. Is there something you can tell us that nobody knows about her?
Oh, you're looking for a spoiler. Well, the only thing I can say right now is that Princess Peach has to learn to become a warrior for her kingdom. So that's all I can say right now.
Oh,
about that.
It's getting real. It's about to get real.
It's about to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's only seen me sort of cry and, escape the Mushroom Kingdom, but she will learn to become a warrior for her kingdom, and that's pretty much all I'll be allowed to say before the director comes hunting me down.
I got you, and we'll protect you and ask no more about that. One thing I'd like to know is... You got my
back, right? You got my back. I'll be like, some keys.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'll interview him and get him to give spoilers, and then he only has himself to blame.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
Now, how challenging is that going to be? If you're going to be a warrior, are you prepared for the physicality of all this?
I am so ready to do physical stuff. I'm psyched. I'm pumped. We have so many talented people that are on our, as part of our acting corral. We have a lot of stunt people and people that just fight choreography, and I think we have some of the best people here. I may be biased, but I think that we have the best people here on our team. So I will be in good hands. I will definitely be in good hands with our professional stunt people and stuff. So whatever physical stuff comes about, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to be kind of badass.
What can we expect from you in the future? Is there any more beatdown boogie projects in the works for you guys?
Well, me personally, I am a full-time actress, so I will continue to pursue that endeavor. But there's a couple of other projects that I've been working on. I was in a short film called Foodie, and that's won a few awards, and it's actually playing at the Nevermore Film Festival in Durham in February, which is a great festival. And I'm also in a feature film called Athena, and that's in post-production right now. And besides that, I do a lot of spokesmodel work and voiceover work and commercials. But Mario Warfare is a huge priority for me and the rest of the crew. All of us are super psyched about it. Beatdown Boogie has thrown around a couple of different projects that have sort of been in the works that we've been talking about, but we'll see. We kind of have our hands full with Mario Warfare right now, so that's really the main thing that's on our plate.
Well, seeing as it is very exceptional, I can understand why you would be focused on that. It's got so much potential.
We're psyched because we had so much success with our Kickstarter. We surpassed our goal by about 18,000 plus. We're going to be using that money to sort of just kind of up our game, make the series that much more epic, that much more, cooler locations, better costumes, and we're just going to keep doing it. So that's our main focus right now. I mean, it's just like the wheels are just starting to turn for, pre-production for episode 3. So we can't even think past that because people have been so generous with their support for us to see more episodes. So that's our main priority.
I got one more question, and it kind of comes with the New York thing.
Okay,
what
cool.
are some of the what are the differences you have seen with New York and North Carolina?
Well, I know Robert sort of touched on this a little bit. I mean, I did some acting in New York as well before I came here, and because there's a lot more stuff going on, there can be a lot more opportunity, but also a lot more competition. I think we have here in North Carolina, we really have something special. I think, like you said too, I mean, people call you up and you're down to work on a project or help or do sound or whatever. You just like being in that environment. I think we all sort of appreciate it. And I know, you're a filmmaker, going at it, doing it, and we all sort of like supporting each other and cheering each other on. And I do sort of think Robert had touched on something. He had said that it's ironic because I'm from New York, but I'll go on sets for like commercials for major, restaurant chains or something like that, and all the main talent will be from either LA or New York, and they'll fly those people in, and I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, they're flying them in, they're paying for hotel, they're paying for airfare, and we have all this talent right here, and they only see us really a lot of times as extras or, smaller feature parts. Of course, it's a generalization. That's not always the case with everything. But a lot of shows, like our TV shows and our movies that film here, a lot of the parts are smaller, and it's disappointing to me a little bit that we get passed up, for stuff because we have so many talented people here. Even crew-wise, I'll see crew that they'll fly in, a whole bunch of crew, directors and, ADs and gaffers and all stuff, and they'll have like PAs from North Carolina. So I'm like, come on.
That's why I'm doing this show. I don't make money on this. It's all about bringing us all together and networking a little bit and getting to know
Right.
one person's project, and hopefully we can build our own industry. I don't think we need Hollywood. For one thing, they view us as a threat, even those little guys. They don't need us. They don't want us. They want us to go away. So by doing these kind of things, we're not going away. We can make our own money. We don't need Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, like you said, we have at this time, it's an exciting time to do stuff, because with YouTube or with all the stuff that we have at our fingertips, we can produce amazing stuff and really get it out there and let people know, like, hey, we got some skills here. We got some skills at NC. We can, we're representing here. And I think the kind of a good way to sort of help that is when people do projects here, that they actually say, like, in their credits, like, filmed in North Carolina, or maybe even specifically where it was filmed in Raleigh, filmed in Durham, filmed in Greensboro, so people know, like, wow, that was really good. Oh, wow, that was filmed in North Carolina. Because I think people are always, like, a little taken back, where even with, like, Beat Down Boogie, I mean, there have been people that have asked me, like, are you guys from L.A.? Like, no, we're from North Carolina. We're North Carolina filmmakers, Yeah,
absolutely. And I want to thank you for calling. I appreciate your time. Anything you want to say before we move on to our next extraordinary person? I appreciate being on the call. I appreciate all the support that we got for our Mario Warfare series through Kickstarter and just through people sharing our stuff. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling to see our work translated in 10 different languages or more, probably more than that, just to see, like, that's how it translates to all different cultures and stuff like that. And we really are very humbled and grateful. And if you guys want to follow along with my acting adventures, I have my Facebook acting page, which is my name. It's Alena Koch Actress, so it's Alena Koch, Koch, and then actress. So it's facebook.com/Alena Koch Actress, and there you can find links to my main website and my Twitter account. So I'd love to talk to people. I love talking to people and interacting with people. So definitely come on my social media accounts and my YouTube and all that stuff and connect with me, so we can all be a nice big North Carolina family. Sounds great, and all that is well deserved. And if you have not checked out Mario Warfare, hit YouTube. It is pretty badass. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.